What's up, guys? This is your boy James, aka Six8Jay, coming to you on this Tuesday, October 17th at noon. Appreciate you guys. We're a couple minutes just before noon. We've got an incredible show for you guys today as I'm going to be sharing my story with you guys. And this is predicated off of a few things, but we're also going to talk about crypto. We're also going to talk about the market. So let's get into the market. Before we do, let me look up and say, what's up to my family? Shane Sullivan says, I'm working and listening at the same time, my brother. I gotcha. And I appreciate you, Shane, taking time out of your amazing day, brother, and gracing us with your presence. OMC, same thing, my brother. What up, fam? Crypto for life. Very easy hydroponics. Alan, what's up, my man? And my sister, Island Ghost Stephanie. How's my little homie doing? The dog, what is your dog name, Island Ghost Stephanie? It was such a well-behaved dog. I was literally jealous when me and my wife in Vegas, all he kept doing was saying, how did she get this dog to be so doggone well-mannered? Shouts out to my sister, Island Ghost Stephanie. It's good to see you, sup, my glitches. Good to see you, sis. But her, for those of you guys don't know, hey, brother, how you doing, Hydroponics Alan? So it's funny, we were in Vegas at the Las Vegas event, and Island Ghost Stephanie, dog, just Layla, just so freaking calm and passive and cool. Like, it literally made me jealous because I'm thinking, I got 3 dogs, ain't none of them would act like that. I don't know how she got that dog to be, because, you know, we got loving dogs, but it just so happens that I have my 2 dogs, Precious, who's a Terradoodle, which is a poodle and a terrier mix, black, a dog. That was our first one. She's an OG, old school lady. And then there's Prince, who is a Maltese, all white, pure white. And then there's, so I guess you could say we're a blended family, just like we are for real, right? I told my kids, we're confused. It's like, Dad, what box should we check at school? I was like, look, you're Puerto Rican, black, or Jamaican, Mexican, white, and then just confused. Just say you're confused, and it's okay. Check whatever box gives you the best grants. Let me stop. So, and then my last dog is a husky, Siberian husky. And Kobe, that's his name. We got him 2 weeks after Kobe Bryant passed, but he has anxiety. And, I mean, amazing dog. I've never been more close to anything, maybe even any person. It might be crazy. I mean, that dog is my dude. That's my dude. And we got crazy anxiety. So anyways, we were at the Las Vegas event, and there's music and party and people walking around and crazy and shouting. And her dog's just looking like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? What's up, Mom? Good to see you. And I'm just like, and I just kept staring at the doggone dog. I kept staring at Layla like, how in the hell is she so well-mannered? So great job. Been listening to Bagman's music for years. Though she was in a living room. Nah, not with all those doggone people walking around, especially when I was walking around her. She's like, oh, is that Six8Jay? That fool hella tall. You know, she's like, should I chill or bite him in his butt? Let me stop. But no, just well-mannered dog. Shouts out to Layla. Great dog. Hopefully she's doing. Hans Loaded, smash a like and hit that subscribe. My brother comes right in, and before saying anything else, he shows support for the team. And you know what? Hans Loaded, how do I tell you how much I love you? Liz, my sister, and one of the greatest supporters ever. If you look at great support on the internet, like, she'd be like this. That's Liz. Thank you so much, sis, for being here. Guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. Thank you so much, all you guys, for being here. And my sisters, appreciate you. So, guys, we're gonna be talking about who is Six8Jay. Before we do, let's look at this crazy market. Right now, we're still at $1.09 trillion. As far as the market cap, guys. Bitcoin. Did somebody tell Bitcoin that news was fake about Bitcoin ETFs? Did anybody tell Bitcoin that it was fake news? Because Bitcoin pumped, and then somebody must have called Satoshi and said, hey, Satoshi, you know that was BS. It wasn't real. And Satoshi's like, we don't care. Bitcoin's ready to pump. We're sick and tired of being depressed. Or what's it called? Not depressed. Good Lord. Suppressed. Can you imagine if Satoshi was depressed? All that damn Bitcoin he owns. So the point is, guys, Bitcoin is not listening to anybody. Right now it's at 28,380. Good Lord. Ethereum's down under 1,600 at 1,556. We got BNB at 211. BNB pumping? On what news? Let me stop. XRP is at 49 cents, guys. We got Solana 23.85. Cardano $24. Uh-oh. Why? You know, guys, let me try to stop this. My apologies. I don't want to fall out my chair. But I had this on silent because you guys know what happened. That's like the most irritating thing in the world when your phone starts ringing. And what actually happened, guys, is I tried to hire a transportation company. I hate this. I tried to hire a transportation company to to move my to take my cars out of town, right? To ship our cars, because when we moved down here, we had to sell. We sold like 9 cars before we came down here, and that's part of the story. I won't skip to that part of the story. That's my crypto 2021 story. But we sold 9 cars, and I had 4 of them shipped, because where we live at now, they have HOAs, and they had rules about how many cars you could have around your place. So I had shipped 4 and sold 9 when we left Vegas. So anyways, let's get into the market, and we'll get into the doggone 6-8J story. Don't jump it. But what I won't do is say what's up to Big Watch Dude. What's up? You know what, guys? If I get emotional, y'all don't hold it against me, because when I look up and see all these incredible people that came up here just to support me and listen to my story, you know what? I need to calm myself down. I feel a tear coming. Tails, let them know how much I love them.
Hey, look, 4 years and it's still no cheers. If you're selling and I'm still all in, what do you do when your freedom is in?
You guys see that face? You see this face? HOA sucks. You see this face? That's the face. I'm going to give you a couple things not to do, okay, before we get started, Liz. Is that okay, sis? Island Go Stephanie? First of all, never brush your teeth before drinking coffee. Oh, my God. My coffee tastes like crap right now. I'm not... It's like Crest. What is that? Colgate? Good Lord. What kind of cream I put in that damn thing? And then we ran out of one. Here's the second thing you don't do. I ran out of one creamer, which my favorite creamer. I don't know if you guys drink coffee, but it's coconut cream. That right there is that's fire. Like, that might be liquid crack. I don't know. I might have to contact someone to see if it has crack in it, but it might be liquid crack. It's called, it's called, stack it up. That's right, Big Watch Dude. It's called coconut cream, that creamer, right? The creamer that you pour. Was it Coffee Mate or something like that? But that stuff is so ridiculous. And so we had a little bit of that left, and then my wife had something else called pumpkin spice. So I had, when I got the coconut cream and I put it in there, and it was like, it started going, and you want it so bad, you start hitting the top of it like, come on, get that level, get. And it wasn't enough, so I went and put pumpkin spice. So don't brush your teeth, and don't try to add 2 different damn creamers. That's what I got. Good Lord. I'm over here like, damn, my coffee tastes like straight Chicago. Let me stop. Good Lord. Anthony Wilder, what's up, my brother? Huh? James, if your story wasn't good, it wouldn't be here. Oh, man. Okay, bro, you better stop, because I get emotional. Now, y'all, I'm 6'8", I'm tough, but when people start showing me love, I get a little, if y'all see my screen go off, it's because I'm getting, teary-eyed. Okay, let's keep going. Much love, my brother. I appreciate you in a big way. Thanks so much. Who's that? Hans Loaded, my man. All right, guys, so let's get right back into it. So Cardano, 24 cents. A lot of people expect, and I'm not trying to be, a lot of people expect, and I would have concurred that ISO 2022 coins are going to freaking explode on this next bull run. Explode. And a lot of people feel like Cardano's going to be one of them. Dogecoin right now is at 5 cents. We got Matic at 51 cents. Almost 2 for $1. Make you want to holler. Let's just say. Polkadot is at 367. Dot, if you get to $3, oh my goodness. I might just have one stream on my hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I'm just saying. $3 Polkadot. Oh yeah, let's do it again. Chainlink is at 732. We got Shiba at 5 zeros and a 6. What happened to 5 zeros and a 7? Dropped down just a bit. AVAX is at $9. We got XLM, Moontime coming up. Oh, guys, by the way, before I forget, every time I say something bullish, I'm like, wait a minute, are you giving financial advice? Nothing I talk about should ever be considered or deemed financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. My name is James, a.k.a. 6-8Jay. I've been in crypto since 2017, and it's changed our lives, and we're going to talk about that today, along with a few other things back in my past, because I'll tell you the motivation behind doing the stream today. OKB is at 46.17. We got Atom at 640. We got Uniswap at 386. We got, let's see, HBAR, 4 cents. Filecoin, 319. ICP, 314. We've got Crow, so undervalued, 5 cents. VChain, oh my gosh, I love you. Let me stop. You're not supposed to be in love with crypto. Stop it. I just like slapped myself because what was number 5? Don't fall in love with a crypto, but dang it, I like VChain a lot. I'll say it like, was it Forrest Gump? I like it a lot. Let me stop. Optimism right now is at 119. We got QNT at 85.79. We got MNT. Don't know what it is. Don't got number. This at 32 cents. Arbitrum, layer 2. I'm saying it fast so we can get through this. At 78 cents. We got near. Let's make it clear. $1. Stack it up. Reminds me of something. Tell songs. I play it each and every day. If you don't know what it is, here it goes. Woo! All right, let's get back on track. It's going to take how long to get through this. Six8Jay, that coffee, that Colgate, that Crest, whatever, that's toothpaste and coffee, I might be on crack right now. GRT is at 8 cents right now. We got Algran at 9 cents. We got Render, RNDR at 185. INJ at 773. XDC coming in at 4 cents. We got the coin formerly known as Multiverse X, EGLD. Prior to that is at 23.92. We got XTZ to OG at 64 cents. We got Sandbox at 28 cents. Can you get $4? Let's make it happen. Mana just coming in just a tad bit lower than that, just by a smidgen. Huh? Who uses that word? You know you owe when you say that, smidgen. Mustard seed, smidgen. What are you, like 80? It's at 27 cents. We've got Phantom at 17 cents right now. We've got Neo because of you. God, you know, if I rubbed a genie bottle, it would be to have it'd probably be to have more crypto too. I mean, I got a lot of crypto, god dang it. It'd probably be to just wish everyone peace and happiness. And the second thing, God, I wish I could sing outside the shower. When that water come up, I'm like, oh yeah, like Ezel, you know, because of you. Let me stop. At least I've married somebody that got a damn voice. My wife. Love her. Jeanette, my queen. Flo, if you didn't know, is at 44 cents. We've got CHZ at 5 cents. We got IOTA. People are expecting big things out of IOTA, huh? It's at 14 cents right now. Ocean Protocol, Billy Ocean, I don't know. It's at 28 cents right now. CRV, 42 cents. We've got CSPR at 2 cents. Gala, make you want to holler. Gala, I finally got my Gala back. It was missing for like a month. Did you upgrade your V2 to V1? I was like, look, I just want to buy it and hold it. I got to go upgrade stuff. Sometimes I be thinking it's like the biggest scam ever. If you didn't upgrade it, you lost it. What the hell are you talking about? Can I just buy it and it just be what it is? Y'all upgrade the damn thing. I gave you my money. Sue right now is at 37 cents. GMX is at 35 cents. I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. Woo! That's what we're going to be saying when we're all victorious. Huh? Victorious. We're going to be in there like the old Baptist church with the tambourines, remember? Woo! We won! Good Lord. I need to go to church. Pray for me. Zillica, the real Dillica, at 1 cent. We got Loom coming in at Loom's still up, coming in at number 99 and at 100. B-A-T. BAT. Gotta love it. BAT. Basic attention token. I know that, who bought a lot of that at one point? Was it Grayscale? No, it was, who was that that bought a lot of? MicroStrategy? I think they got some of that. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Show some love. Is all the family here? Hans loaded too soon? Smitten? Good Lord. Who the hell says smitten? Smitten? Like, what are you, like 50? You know, I guess I am 50. Good Lord. Let's see. Gmail Brown's in the house. What's up, Gmail? Nez Force. Damn, we got family here today. Man, I'm just feeling all the love. I'm feeling all the love, sis. Gotta love my family. Crypto for life. All right, guys, let's get right into it. So, getting to know your brother, Six8Jay, my story, my journey. Let's talk about it. Now, one of the things that prompted me to do this was I get on these various calls, and I really didn't care how many people outside of my family came, but I definitely wanted my family to come. There's so many people. I get on these streams, and I do these events, and then I get DM'd, and people are like, well, what NBA team did you play for? Or what? I didn't play for an NBA team. I played for a professional basketball team in Puerto Rico. I'm Black and Puerto Rican. So I said, you know what? All this misinformation, or what did you, what movie? I heard you say in the movie. What movies were you in? And I was like, okay, well, I was in movies. I'll give you that. So I said, let me just, you talk about, you and your wife did this, and I had people say, man, God bless you for doing that over in, they'll say something like, so you're building orphanages in Nigeria with Dr. Gamboy. I was like, no, I don't donated money there, but so I just wanted to kind of go through. So let me tell my story, and if I tell my story, then I have people reach out and say, well, you talked about the iWatch, and you really own that. So I said, let me just put together a little collage of my life, if I could, and then maybe that'll help me trigger my story, and then that way you guys know who you talk to. And the reason that I think that's so important, Liz, is Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, baby. That's where I'm from, Puerto Rico. Well, I'm from Brooklyn, but I'm considered third generation Puerto Rican. My mother looks, if you want to know my parents, I should have put a picture of my dang parents up here, but my mom looked like a J-Lo-ish like lady, like Puerto Rican like that, and just as beautiful. And my dad was African American, so that's Six8Jay. So let's go back. So the reason I thought this was important, let me kind of explain why, is a lot of times we get on social media, and it's hard for me to express to you guys who I am. I know you guys sincerely see it. And I tried it in various ways just by being who I am, being as fun, out there, sometimes crazy, sometimes, serious. And I try to be a combination of all these things. And it's really what made me different on stage. One of the things that made me different on stage, and I've had so many people, I might try to get this guy, David Moses, who's a multi-millionaire. He might make $1 million a month right now. And we were part of this traveling circuit of speakers, and he said James is the greatest connector of people I've ever seen in my life, and that was just one of the most honorable things he could ever say. I was getting awards. Me and him ended up on this cruise ship as part of this award, and they had people ranked, and I was ranked higher than he was, which is funny. He was worth so much more money than me. And we went on the world's biggest cruise ship, which Jeanette was on there. And that's when, funny thing is, that's when I met Chris Moore. I met Chris Moore on that trip, where I was ranked higher than a lot of people, and I had the luxury cabin on the world's biggest cruise ship. It was absolutely incredible. So anyways, so I say all that not to impress you, but impress upon you that that's always been my story, just being authentic. It came from the core values of what my mother taught me. But a lot of times what happens, we get on YouTube and you can't really tell who you're talking to. You'll talk to somebody 1 minute, they seem like they're great, and we've seen so many stories of people being way up and then falling because of various things in their lives. And I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not perfect by a long shot, but I am imperfectly perfect, right? So I just try to minimize my mistakes as you get older. And you've seen a lot of downfalls of, YouTube influencers. You've seen people here today, gone tomorrow, people accusing certain people of certain things because you really don't know who a person is if you haven't known them for some time. And it was one of the reasons that on my channel, I tried to go back. If you look at my lives, especially if you look at my earlier lives, I started trying to do interviews with like celebrities and multi-million dollars. And it wasn't that I was trying to show off. I was just trying to give you guys snapshots of my life. People who were actors or entertainers or athletes or this or speakers or motivators or millionaires or, on the cover of Forbes. And then they talk about the years and the history going back 10 to 30 years of our connection. And I felt like that would authentically get people to know who I've been, even before coming to YouTube. So to me, that was always important because a lot of times when I go and I look at a YouTube channel as a person who's just like you, and I'm no different than you guys, other than I just tend to, I decided to share my voice and share my story after being persuaded for so long to do it. And I was really trying to deny doing it because I didn't want to be in the public eye anymore. But a lot of times when I was looking at YouTube, I always thought to myself, who is this guy? Like, who is this dude? And what is he really about? What makes him or puts him in a position to be, other than just being educated in the space, does he have integrity? Does he, is he the kind of person that, what is his background? I need some type of validation. That's just how, I've always been that way in business. When I'm getting ready to do business with people, I want to know about you. Just like Ripple, like, let me know who Brad Garlinghouse is. What's up with Chris Larson? Who is, Joe Katz? Who's this? Or who's that? You want to dig deep, right, to figure out, is this because you're making decisions for your family and your family's future. And it's the same thing that I've thought every time I got onto YouTube. I was like, are these people authentic? And then you see people fall, or you see people, things are being said, or this person this, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I want to be affiliated with that. And so that was one of the things that always made me think, hey, let me share my story. It's nothing special. It's just my story. So we'll get into that. But if you guys ever want to learn and see anything on those, you guys can go here and look at the various feeds and the things that I've done and the stories that I've shared. And hopefully that gets you to know who I am. So let's just start off. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and we were between Brooklyn and Puerto Rico as a kid. And then my dad, the crazy thing about it is my dad, the story that was told, and my mom confirmed it, who my mom, if you know her, didn't lie. She was a saint, big time religious lady. My whole life, that's all I've ever known. Is why I had summer jobs at Attica, which was schools for mentally retarded and handicapped children, and just the things that I remember she'd even got a house where she moved in and volunteered to take care of handicapped people, and we were raised with them. I had no choice, and it made me realize just the type of person my mother was, and the values that she stood for, and she was just a giver. And it wasn't one of those things she did it for money. She did it for her professional. It was who she was. And then even after she was done with all that, in my latter years before she passed away, she worked at high schools, and she would randomly have kids come to our house that she was mentoring, and it would be 1 minute it'd be a high school kid, next day I'll go to her house and she'll have professional football players eating in her. I'm like, Mom, I'll call us like, who the hell are these guys? Like buff, big old buff brothers, and she's like, oh, they play for the Fresno Bandits, which was a semi-pro team, and I just want to cook them a home cooked meal, baby. Like the word got around of who this lady was. She would drag people off the streets, bums and stuff, or I'd say bums, but homeless people to church and things like that. and that's who she was. So that's the stuff that was imprinted on me in my life. And so shouts out to Josephine Roman, my mother, rest in peace. And then my dad, James L. McFadden Jr., Senior, which I'm who passed away from colon cancer, from prostate cancer, and my mom at 62, and my mom from depression. She lost the fight of depression, and lost her life to that. I'll just leave it at that at 53. So dad 62, mom 53. So anyways, what I was told from them is I was too young to know that we fled New York because my dad had a hit on him apparently by the mob, and so we went to Florida, which is where he was, where his family lived, and he took on a cab driving position until the hit was called off. And this is not, I can't make this up. It is what it is. And so that's where we were raised up in Gainesville. And I lived, in mostly projects and lower income housing, welfare, and all that good stuff. There's even a time I lived behind the Florida Gators Stadium. It was a place called Kennedy Homes, which was a big project out there, big time projects. I would walk to school, see dead body. It was just nuts. Had my first knife pulled off on me. Someone tried to get me at a very young age. So anyway, that was about maybe 11 or so. So then my mom and dad divorced. Because my dad was already gone when I was at Kennedy Homes. He was already gone. He left at 9 years old. The day after Christmas, we opened up. He helped me put a boat together, and woke up the next day. He was gone. And so Papa was a Rolling Stone. It is what it is. And so Ray, my mom, when she finally she met some other guy who ended up being a big time loser, abuser, and they moved to California. I moved out to California with him. No, I didn't move out to California. My brother and sister moved out to California. I stayed with my grandma because I didn't really, I was kind of going through it. I was a bad kid fighting, all kinds of stuff. They had to put me in a special special school for boys who was bad. I mean, yeah, it was pretty bad. And I won't go through all the things, but I was a little badass, Brooklyn, badass, and especially when you go to Florida, everybody wants to test you, and then came to California, everybody wanted to test you. And so anyways, went through that whole scenario. I won't go bore you guys with the details, but long story short, got to California. When I was in Florida, my freshman year in high school, I thought I was going to be a football player. And I was a receiver. We were state champions for our all-freshman school. And then I came to California and discovered basketball. I kind of played around a little bit in 8th grade, but 9th grade, football was my sport. And then my 9th grade summer, when I was visiting my mom here in California, I grew 3 inches, and everyone started saying basketball. Oh, you like Ralph Sampson and all this stuff. So okay, basketball became it. So got into basketball, and I was back and forth to Florida because my dad owned a travel agency, so I was going back and forth to different high schools. I went to 4 high schools, going back and forth, until my I think like half my sophomore, my junior year, I finally settled in California, and went on to play college basketball 1 year. I went to a small NAIA school. I was actually going to a city college, JUCO, because of my grades. My grades weren't all that great. And then while I was there, I was going to redshirt because they were stacked with a bunch of players. And, honey, I'm live, so I'll call you when I'm done. So they were stacked with a bunch of players, and my wife didn't realize I was live. And so I decided to redshirt, and then this coach came by and said, hey, I want that guy. And then I went to this school, and then I think I'm going to share the story with you guys with that. So this is during this time right here. I was in college, maybe a little earlier than that. I was right around, that might have been right around the time I was playing pro ball, in this picture that you guys see to the left. And I'll put this together so I can kind of jog my memory on everything so I don't miss anything. So went to college 1 year, and then had got a phone call to go play pro ball in Puerto Rico for a tryout. So I went down, and during the time they had me try out with the Olympic team, during the time they had the Olympic team that was getting ready for the Olympics. So they had me work out with them, and I was so impressive that they offered me a contract. So that was short-lived. I did that for a while, for a little bit. And then during that time, some things happened. I got married a little young. I won't get into that because the only thing that matters to me is my queen right now, which is Jeanette. I won't even talk about my past stuff. But got married at a young age, didn't know what I was doing. And ended up coming back and took a little bit of a break from balling because of certain scenarios that took place. And got into working, and at the time we had a place, and I wasn't working, I was just taking a break, and then we actually had a place that caught fire. I lost everything, And then and I'm just kind of jumping through the story, and then everybody's like, just go back and play ball, go back and play ball. And at that time, I wound up meeting a guy that wanted me to coach his son while I was here, and that he was a business owner, and that led me into opening up my first business. Let's just say that. And through that process, it wound up being a detail shop. That ended up being car lots. That ended up after some time, it got me into speaking. I started speaking. It's something I saw my dad do most of his life. I started going to courses. I wanted to be a great speaker. But the funny thing about it is during the time that, let me back up, during the time that I opened up my car lots, I became bored. I was making money really easy. And I was like, this is cool. And here's the thing that I can say about you guys is that, how old am I, Steph? I'm 52 as of September 1st, 52 for September 1st. I know a lot of people think, especially when I'm out and about, they're like, man, you look 30 something. I was like, no, it's just maybe a stressful life, a stress-free life. And just, I think being an entrepreneur has always allowed me to, work when I work when I want to work, sleep when I want to sleep. And I just had a different life. I'm not saying I haven't had my fair share of stress, but what they say, black don't crack. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I just look younger than my age for sure. And I have a different spirit. My wife Jeanette's probably about 10 and a half, almost 11 years younger than I am. So she's about 40. So anyways, make a long story short, what was I at? I had the car lots, and I was always one of those guys that if I got bored, so when I played basketball, I realized I wasn't going to be Michael Jordan. I realized I wasn't going to be an NBA super duper uber star, whatever. And because I took a different road, I left college. One of my biggest regrets, and I try not to have regrets, is I left college after my freshman year. I didn't have a dad around. We were very poor, and I just went after the money. And I was at that time, I had interest from the local college, which was called Fresno State University. And instead of doing that, I took off for the money. So the money, all that stuff. And it was probably, at the time, it seemed like a great thing to do. But I always say things happen for a reason, so I don't live in a world of regret. But I definitely wish I would have finished out, or at least went more as far as college. So yeah, nobody's Michael Jordan. But the analogy is I knew that I wasn't going to be that big NBA guy. So I said, okay, well, let me figure out what I can be great at. So then I got into business, and my goal at first was I've always been fascinated with cars. My dad was always in the car industry. Again, my dad was always in the speaking industry, so a networking industry. So that all kind of resonated in my soul. I started at a young age, and through the years, even though he left, I would go back and visit. So I was around the things that he was around, and so I said, let me see if I would be great at business. So it was in my soul. I can't even explain to you. My dad took me some seminars. I saw people speaking, and I remember being like a 13-year-old guy a kid going, I want to do that one day. I want to motivate people one day. I want to, so it was one of those type of things, just got in my spirit. So when I started my own business and started the detail shop, which eventually led to one car lot, two car lots, I found myself bored. I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to be? Am I going to be like the biggest car dealer in this area? Like, no, I don't really think so. So I always felt like things were stepping stones to get me to somewhere else. So during that time, I wanted to get into something different. And one day I was approached by a guy who saw me, and it was kind of like with this picture here, but I used to do, well, actually, before I got into the acting, to the acting modeling thing, which I know a lot of you guys didn't know that, this guy stopped me in the street. He goes, hey, man, have you ever considered acting? And I had like this, they used to compare me to this guy by the name of something Kodojo or something Kodojo or something. He's like, you like the guy from Young and the Restless or some hospital show or something. So I had a very unique look. And he said, have you, and I've never been that guy that was like hunched over. I was always very fit. And so 6'8" and very fit. So, and I had a certain look to me. And so they were like, this guy's like, have you ever been an actor? I was like, no, not really. He said, you should check out our school. So at the time, there was a guy by the name of Alan Autry. He had a football career. Under that football career, he played for the Green Bay Packers. You guys can look him up. His name was Carlos Brown. And he later changed his name to Alan Autry. A lot of you guys might know Alan Autry from the show called Heat of the Night. And Heat of the Night was with the guy from, I think his name was Carol O'Connor or something like Carol O'Connor or something like that. The guy who played Archie Bunker with Edith was his wife, and he was like a real racist dude back in the day. His name was Archie Boy. I can't think of the doggone show, but so anyways, Carol O'Connor, who was Archie Bunker in that show, was also the sheriff. He was the main sheriff of Heat of the Night, the show called Heat of the Night. For those of you guys a little older like I am, you remember Heat of the Night. Well, Bubba was the big, strong, buff sheriff, and he's like, yes, chief. "Yeah, Chief," Bubba. So Bubba had an acting school in the area in California I was in, and his recruiter recruited me. So I was like, I never really did it. So I thought it would be a great way because at the time I had done some. I just got into the world of speaking and networking, and I said, this might be great because one of my fears, and I won't say it was my fear, but I was like, maybe this would help me be a better speaker if I overcame that thing of being on stage. I mean, I just saw it as a challenge, honestly. In my life, I never wanted to be one of those guys, Stephanie or Liz or Gmail Brown or OMC, all you guys are here, BQ69, Hans Loaded. I never want to be one of those guys that say I coulda, shoulda, woulda, or this and that. So I said, you know what? Let me give it a shot. And at the time, I'd also been playing, after I got back from playing ball overseas and I was doing my car life, I would play in these random celebrity basketball games. I started hooking up with celebrities, and I was playing in these games. So I would play like in a little Bow Wow game. You guys remember Little Bow Wow? And I play in, whether it was like Brian McKnight or Terrell Owens or, just all these guys. I was around all these celebrities. So I said, let me see what I would be in front of this camera. This guy, Charlie, his name was Charlie, who recruited me to the school. So I went to the school. And the first thing Ellen did, I met with Ellen. I sat in his office. It was so funny, guys. Make sure you hit the like and thumbs up. Thank you so much, sis. I was sitting in front of his name is Alan Autry, which is Bubba from Heat of Night. And he goes, "Let me ask you a question. What's your biggest fears?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Like, that's how we're starting this interview. He said, "What's your biggest fears?" Now I understood what he was trying to do now after he did it. Which he said, I said, "Well, honestly, I've never been able to cry. I don't cry in front of people." Because I always had to be a tough guy. I'm the oldest son. I had to protect my mom when, I had an abusive stepdad around. I started working at 13 to help her make, bills and everything. I don't cry. And then at the time, I know today's a little bit different. I said, I personally don't think, he said, what would be the two things you don't think you could do? That's what he said. I said, I don't think I can cry in front of people. And I had to think about it. I said, I don't think I could play and please don't hold this against me. And I know today is such a crazy thing which I don't think I could play a homosexual in front of people. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I said it's not that I had problems with it, because I had family and sisters and friends that were in the midst of that. But I said I don't think I could do that. So I was just being honest. It was a conversation with me and him. This is the first time I ever told this damn story, like all my story like this ever. So I hope you guys appreciate this. So he says, okay. And he looks up and he gets up out of his chair. He's beautiful office in this acting school. And he goes out to the hallway, like where all the actors and stuff pick their scripts. And he's gone for a minute. I'm just like, why would he ask me that? Like, and then he comes back with this play, and he puts it on his desk and he goes, okay, I want you to study this. And it was called Norman Is That You, which Norman Is That You is a play that Red Fox, you guys remember Sanford and Son, Red Fox did it. It was like in the 50s or 60s. And it was predicated off of a guy, Norman, who is the main character. Now, remember, I'm coming here to learn, and he's got me getting ready for this, to read this play where I'm the main damn character. And then he goes, I'm going to have other people who were all seasoned actors in his school be the characters around you. I'm like, what? So he gives it to me, but I guess my confidence, I wasn't like, what? I was like, okay. Everything with me was okay. That's how it was. I think now I say what, but as I said, okay, hey, what is it about? And he goes, well, you're going to play a homosexual role, and you're going to be crying. And so he immediately threw the one thing I said I couldn't do, the two things, threw them right at me. So he was asking me the question to challenge me, and well, I took it. And so I did Norman Is That You, and there was supporting cast. There was my dad, who was played by Ken Griffith. There's my mom, who was played by this one lady, I can't think of her name. And then there was a girl who played a prostitute, and then the guy who played my gay boyfriend, which was, his name was, it's so funny because they paired me up with this little Italian guy who was like, his name was Anthony. Anthony was this little Italian dude that he might have been 5'6", 5'7" on a good day. And he's supposed to play my boyfriend and thing. So, and it's a live show where the stage is set, lights are bright, and it opens up with a scene of a door where the buzzer goes off, and a bed where we're both under the covers asleep when the buzzer goes off and the light comes up. That's how the play shows. We're under the covers, and my dad comes from New York to visit me, and he confronts me, and he comes in, and I have to expose to him that I'm gay. So that was my intro to acting, and then that led into commercials, and that led into like films, small films. I did a film called Judge, Jury, and Executioner. I did some other stuff. I did a lot of extra roles on different stuff, like The District with Craig Nelson, the very first episode of that. So that was kind of like the beginning of my love for film and movies and stuff. And I, seeing the cameras and all that. And then I played a detective in that where I was questioning people for a murder, a homicide in The District, the pilot for that show, which Craig Nelson. Craig Nelson is the guy who. Coach, he played on Coach. He was a main character for Coach. Anyways, it's all Googleable stuff. But anyways, that's my story. So that got me into that. Then I started writing my own script, and that led me into where I think I shared the story with Coolio, trying to get my movie shopped out to some people in Hollywood and all that stuff. So God rest his soul. Coolio, I did a little bit of a shout out for him. God rest in peace, Coolio, my brother. So that's how that whole thing started. Then during that time, I obviously went through speaking a lot, went through that whole thing, and it really helped me as far as becoming a global speaker and in the industry I was in. And then I was also doing businesses at that time. I quickly, again, realizing, I'm one of those guys, I saw basketball wasn't going where I wanted to go. I saw a business or being a car lot owner, so I gave that to my brother and ended up doing becoming a full-time speaker. And then kind of got burned out of that, went back to doing some business stuff, had a closing business, and then I got into the movie film thing, and I did that as long until it bored me, until I got bored. And I was playing in celebrity games and all that stuff, and I just kind of got bored. And I always found myself, and then obviously raising kids and all those things in conjunction with that. And so I did that for many, many, many moons, traveled the world, and I'm kind of giving you guys a quick version of it, but traveled the world as a speaker, was on some of the biggest stages around the world, accomplished some of the biggest, got some of the biggest awards and biggest recognition and all that stuff. And then I found myself, and then during that time, obviously, I met my queen now, Jeanette, about 15 years ago, and just was life changing for me. It was the thing that I needed most in life, the peace. The greatest supporter ever, has every quality that my mom has, and then some. Just a beautiful, beautiful person. That was kind of like, I think, my mom's blessing upon me. She never got to meet Jeanette. So I think through prayers and God's will, that was my blessing. I lost my mom and I gained Jeanette. So that's that, without getting too much emotional about that. So and then during the time I met Jeanette, I was still speaking. I was also doing stuff with cars, still on the side, like flipping cars and stuff. And then I noticed that I wanted to do something different. And about 6 years ago, I decided to step away from. I was about 46, and I decided to step away from the. Careful saying what you can't do, and that was the thing, Anthony Wanner. For me, it was always challenging myself, because when you're young, you see these people do all these things. You see professional athletes. Can I do it? I did it. You see people that are business owners. What makes them different than me? I did it. You see people who speak and go, what made them great? Being a great student, taking courses after courses. I did it. Got awards for it. Was recognized for it. People write books. I started, didn't finish it. Everything I want to do. I wanted to be in the music industry. So let me back up. So during the time, with me and Jeanette's journey, before 6 years ago, before I started thinking about retiring or finding things that I could retire before I got to 50, was we got into the music industry. We opened one of the biggest music studios in Fresno, and we had artists and we had a label, and we traveled doing that too. And then I realized how selfish artists really are. I did that twice. I got in the music game twice. Wound up having groups that I started off with, bought limos, had limos carrying these young guys around. I did all that stuff, man. And then just like, this ain't for me. And so I've always tried things, but just realized, and I always thought to myself, God has a bigger purpose. Like, I remember a pastor telling me a long time ago when I was first coming up in business, he said, you're going to lead millions of people someday, or thousands of people, whatever he said. He said, you're going to meet, and I was like, what, like a pastor? I couldn't, he says, I can't tell you what it is, but that's what's going to happen. And so I was able to do that through speaking and things like that. And I always wondered, is my story done? Do I still have more to add to it? And so we did the music studio thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I was at one point we were donating money to movies. Me and Jeanette were assistant producers on what they call it's called the Canal Street, which you can Google now. Canal Street is what was that movie? It's right here. And so we helped with that. With this movie, it's called Canal. What? Canal. And so I was on the set of that movie, or on the I went and spoke. All the stuff you can find in Canal Street movie. And so I worked with these guys as the title I was given was associate producer. This is Canal Street. It had Brashear Gray from Empire and Woody Kane and Kevin Quinn, which I had all these guys' numbers at one point. You guys can see a lot of those pictures I have on my social media page with a lot of these guys. Anyway, so that was that, and it was right here, Canal Street, the film. So that was one of the, right here, boom, right here. So that was it right there. So I did that, and just trying to figure out what it is to fulfill my heart, my soul, and what I was doing in life, and that's what I'm saying with Jeanette. That's one thing I love about my wife, is that whatever I do, whatever I set my mind to, she's with it. And like I said, I can't ask for a better person, better mate, better friend, better anything. And I owe everything to her, because she was the support that I needed to accomplish a lot of the things that I accomplished. You guys can never underestimate what it is to have a strong woman, or strong partner, should I say. I won't use woman because that could be guy, girl. I'm so not like that, but just a strong partner in your on your team. And so even though I do have my own, I never talk about religion. I never talk about politics, and I try not to talk about war. So I'll just leave it at that. I support all people. But that's very important. So anyways, so about 6 years ago, prior to COVID, actually going back to 2017, I got this phone call that this guy was telling me about a guy that he knew that was a taxi cab driver that was worth $100 million. And that's kind of hard for someone to tell you that from this thing called Bitcoin. I'm like, what? But if it wasn't who this guy was, if he wasn't who he was, if it was anybody, I ain't gonna lie, if it was Tails telling me this, or JC or somebody, I'm like, man, get the hell out of here. I think you're crazy. I'm just saying, and it's not to demean who you are. It's just like, this guy was like the Tony Robbins, the Les Brown of what I was doing. And for him to say it, I'm like, what the hell? Like, how's that possible? So I told you guys about the story, how I kind of skipped something. Because before even that, going back to the early 2000s, I'm sorry, guys, just so much I've done in my life. And I should be looking at this picture, because this picture would help me tell. Right around this time, these are some of the stages that I spoke on. This is me in front of 15,000 people. This is me in front of all kinds of rooms. I had a mic, and just what I did. This is me and Jeanette towards the latter part of my career, when we were just traveling around. This was like, I think, Brooklyn, New York, or something like that. We were in New York City. This is when I was on a big health and wellness. I was a big gym rat, just always and I was at the age of 44 right here. You could never tell I was 44. I was 44 years old, and I was in the best shape of my life. Even when I was playing professional basketball, I shred down to almost like no body fat. I was just a gym rat. This is 44. This is about 8 years ago. I was just a freaking gym rat. It was just nuts, man. It was crazy how insanely obsessed I was with the gym. This is back when I was doing, this picture here was when I was doing commercials, and I was in the movie scene and things like that. I was getting calls all the time. I had an agent. And so this is when me and Jeanette were, one of the times we were in, I think, Jamaica. I want to say Jamaica. And we were building orphanages and painting schools and giving back to kids. That's that picture there. We were with this is a little orphan baby here that we were holding, actually, a little Jamaican baby orphanage. And so, and then this one here is, which I skipped. I was always into technology. Back in the late 90s, I used to program cell phones when I was programming cell phones. And a friend of mine sent me this watch that led me going to China. I went to China with my wife and Dr. Taylor. It was totally my idea, totally my concept. We were the majority owners. We brought in some partners. My partners included a Hall of Fame football player, some other people, and then we tried to start this whole thing of creating our own cell phone watch before there was any cell. Before you heard about Apple, Apple didn't have no watch. None of these suckers had a watch. But I was very fortunate, because a guy that I did business with in the electronic industry in China, Shenzhen to be exact, which Apple had a location, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard about smartwatches?" I'm like, or not smartwatch. He just called them cell phones. I was like, "No, what's that?" So he sent me one. I fell in love, and I started trying to develop my own watch. I thought I'd be the first one to bring this out to the U.S. Yeah, kind of thing, and that led us into trying to come up with names. We thought it was going to be like Zeus, Xena, and all this stuff. We're trying to think of like names of gods to call the watches, like Zeus, Xena, Hades, all these different watches. And this 21-year-old guy, his name was Dylan Beck from Fresno State. He was one of the guys that we hired on and brought in to help us with all the development and everything. And he, one day, when he was getting ready to leave our house about 2 in the morning, he left his charger, his Apple charger. I know Jeanette is going to watch this and remember. He came back to get his charger. We were trying to brainstorm over the names, and we were just getting stuck, man. It was like he left, and he came back, ding dong, and he said, I left my Apple laptop charger. He goes, you know what? What about iWatch? And I'm like, what? And he's like, what about iWatch? And he's like, I was like, dude, come on. Apple owns everything, and that started the journey on how we ended up. So if you Google, if you go on Google and you look up iWatch trademark, these are just things I don't have to tell anybody this, but I am trademark USA, and then you'll see this is back in it was way before that. This is 2015. Why Apple isn't it calling it iWatch? You open that up, and I think I was in everything. I was on the New York Times, Washington Post. I mean, they were trying to fly us out, limos, this limo, just to try to get in the midst of what we're doing. But you can see right here it says in August 2012. So that's 11 years ago. But even prior to that, we were already invested. This is when it became public. And we had signed NDAs. I couldn't say anything, but it says back in August 2012, just so you understand, Fresno, which is where I raised my kids, California-based OMG Electronics, applied for the Apple iWatch trademark. So this talks about OMG Electronics, which I am the owner of. And then if you go back to, I showed you guys a video or everything. But so anyway, that was my journey in the smartwatch thing, and we got into this big negotiations and blah blah blah. And then people were getting greedy in other countries because whenever you have a trademark, in order for a company to buy it like Apple, they have to own it in every country. And there's countries like in China or in Europe, they were being very greedy and trying to get like ridiculous amounts of money. So Apple, after my attorney had said go out there and shop for houses, and me and Jeanette were out there looking, we hired a realtor. We just on top of we're going to be millionaires at a younger age. And I was with Jeanette at the time, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call in the midst of looking. We had a realtor and everything. We're out looking for houses, and I get a call. The iWatch trademark. Yeah, and so thanks, Anthony Weiner. And so I get a call from my attorney, Richard Ryan, saying, "Hey, James, I hope you're sitting down." I was like, "What? I thought we are gonna get more money because here's the thing. I got the email. I could pull up the email of our offer." And the payout amount, they were going to give us 3 payouts for this amount of money, equaling so many millions of dollars. And then I get a phone call because other countries were being greedy. They said, James, I just talked to, and I won't say the lawyer's name for Apple, but he said, and I got like I said, I got an email with the offer and everything. He said that they're going to change the name to Apple Watch. I'm sorry, to Apple Watch because everyone, they're just having a hard time with the trademark with other people. We were one of the only ones, one of the first to the table, say, hey, we'll do it when they made the offer. And so anyway, that was devastating. And I got sick over that. And because, again, there was so many things leading up to that, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, got over it. And so got back into what I was doing. And so, like I said, I want to go back and revisit that. That was back in 12, and then we were already starting that back in like 9 or whatever it was. And so it's very easy for you to go back and see when iWatch was created, or Apple Watch was created, or Samsung's Galaxy Watch. I was in the game way before them. So anyways, I was always looking for that one thing that was going to really define my life and my career and business and everything else. And so when I got that phone call in 17 about this guy who made $100 million in Bitcoin, I was like, yeah, whatever. So the guy, so I'm gonna set up this call with this gentleman tomorrow. Whatever questions you have, get them ready. So I start calling everybody. I was just like frantic, like this can't be true. And so I start calling people, and then through all the people I started calling, I was like, hey, do you know about Bitcoin? You know about crypto? And it wound up leading to 5 people in my life that knew about it. This doctor guy, Dr. Taylor, this other guy who was a business owner, had several businesses, another guy who was a millionaire in real estate, another guy who was a construction, a wealthy guy, and who's the 5th guy? Oh, and there's, Canada, store owner, doctor, construction, and who's the 5th guy? I thought it was 5 of us that went back. Maybe it was 4. Maybe I was the 5th one. But it was my deal. So when they're like, oh yeah, this and that and that. So I said, they was like, yeah, I know about it. So I said, okay, cool. So make a long story short, when I called the guy, I just wanted to get information so I wouldn't sound stupid when I got on the phone with this guy who knew everything about Bitcoin and crypto. So when I talked to the guy the next day, he goes, so what do you know about Bitcoin? I said, not a whole lot. I called a couple of friends, and he was at the time starting this bot company about showing people how to trade, or the bots would do the trading for you. And they wanted me to go out and meet this guy to see I would be a representative, or honestly a speaker for this guy to go out there and promote his business and be a part of it. And so I went down, I flew down, and before I flew down, I said, well, I don't know a lot, but I have a few friends that I call. He says, I'll tell you what, come on out and bring them with you. I was like, bring who with me? Like who? And he's like, bring all the guys that you said that you called, the 4 or 5 guys, whatever. So he sent us all out first class, went to Spain. He flew us to Spain, first class, everything. And we went out there, and I was blown away. And I remember sitting down looking at the guy, and when my friends who had already been into crypto, when they learned about it, what he was doing with the bot thing, they were like going like this, and they were like, oh my God. And doctors was whispering in my ear, and the investor, my buddies, I won't say their names, but they were saying stuff to me, and I was like a deer in the headlights. I couldn't believe that this technology existed that I never heard about. I said, what the freak is this dude talking about? And the more he talked, the more I fell in love. I was like, oh my God. All I could think about, and he was telling me the history of Bitcoin. I'm like, where the hell was I at? And like, I had businesses, I had money, I could invest, but no one ever told me. So I was just in shock and awe. I came back, that led me into, I told you guys, I sold my Hummer, one of my toys, and I bought it, and it crashed down in 2017. I'm like, screw this is stupid. And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I did something wrong, and I had to go back and read it. So anyways, that's the story of how I got into crypto. And then right around the time where I got serious was prior to COVID. I already had some positions and doing some things. And then before COVID, me and another professional athlete was talking about starting a auction house. You guys ever see like Storage Wars and stuff like that? We were talking about putting money in and starting a big auction house to do that. I always had a passion about, it was just something different I wanted to do. So he was looking to put money in stuff. I was looking to put money in something. And all that became irrelevant. Like, we couldn't do it because COVID had hit and nobody was starting businesses and stuff like that. So that's when COVID hit, I said, you know what, because before that time I was just investing. And when COVID hit, I want to go in and get an office because no one was really interacting with anybody. And I opened up this office and I started studying trading. And I took every course I bought. Like, for those of you guys who are in my in our free Crypto for Life trading group, those courses are part of what I was a part of, and I'm still paying for those for you guys. But I started learning how to trade, and so make a long story short, I did that, and realized that trading wasn't the way to go because I was leaving so much money on the table. And so one of the things I'll tell you guys is, let me back up a little bit. Through that process, I've got 6 beautiful kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, ranging from 14 all the way to 29. I won't get into the personal information because I don't think it's relevant. My 14 lives with his mom, and everybody else is on their own. So it's just me and Jeanette now. We just moved my last son, who was with us for a little bit for like the last couple of years. He came down to Hawaii when we were there in Vegas and then here, and we just moved him with his brother, and my daughter went on to Hollywood, which is where she's at now. And so it's me and Jeanette. But the story is again, I got into crypto, realized trading wasn't the way to go, and in prior to 2021, about 4 years ago, I decided I was doing well enough in crypto. I said, Jeanette, we can live anywhere in the world you want to live, where you want to live. And I just had dollar amounts that I had to make while trading. And so we had decided South America, Ecuador. We would start there for a year or two, and then just kind of go and hop maybe to the Philippines. I wanted to go live on beaches all over the world, whether it was Bali or Dubai. But where I started at was Googling the places you could live like a king and queen for the least amount of money possible. And so we were going to start Ecuador. But what my wife said is, she said, honey, do you mind if we go visit a relative in Hawaii? And that's how Hawaii came to fruition. We went down there, stayed in this multi-million-dollar place with her family, her cousin, and her boyfriend, and then eventually got our own place, and that's where the whole thing really started. So then back in 2021, we ended up in 2021, or somewhere around 2020, 2021, we moved to Vegas, and we were obviously a part of crypto during the explosion, and it just exploded to all-time highs, and it changed our lives forever. Now, there's stories that I'm leaving out, guys, and you guys have to forgive me, but there's stories that I'm leaving out where it quickly became known of my success. This is before I did any YouTube stuff or anything. I was in YouTube. I was popping to Bozilla still. I gave Bozilla a lot of credit for calls and stuff like that. But in all actuality, my success came way before I even got to his platform. I liked his vibe, and I liked the family, which is how I know a lot of you guys. So I was tuning into him and just different people. Lark Davis, there's so many, Chico Crypto, equally. And some of those people I was actually watching more than Billzilla. What I did with Billzilla was just a great vibe to hang out and listen and just kind of, oh, this is kind of cool. It's a cool vibe. But a lot of my a lot of the things that I really connected with was like Lark Davis or and even though I got some stuff from, I like CK's vibe and stuff like that, and I met some really good people. Like you got really amazing people. And then it was, what was the other thing? It was, I would listen to Big Boy sometime, but it wasn't for that reason. Like there's just a lot of people that I started connecting with. I like, Crypto Casey's another good one. Chico Crypto. There's a lot of people I started connecting with. And then during the process, people kept saying, you should start your own show. And I was like, no, because I was in the public eye. I was in a descending part of my career as far as, just wanting to enjoy life with my wife and not raising, already raised my kids, already did the business thing, already been on some of the biggest stages. And that's why I always tell people, like, I didn't get into YouTube to try to be something like some big star. My life already consisted of that. Like I did everything I wanted to do other than obviously continue on with my financial success, and which is why I came to crypto. And I'm still writing that story to this day. But I didn't want to be back in the public eye no more. So when I started to do it about 11 months ago, or I guess a year ago when I was co-hosting with CK, and I was like, once I started doing it, I caught the bug. I was like, I like telling the story and vibing and all that. And then things, obviously, I always say, God always have a different path for you. And so my path was to start my own thing, which I did about 11 months ago. And here we are. So that's my story, guys. That's my journey. I also had a special group of people I was mentoring and coaching, celebrities and stuff like that who just like mainly friends and family that wanted to know about my success and my story, which has always been my life. And so that's how, that's where we're at today. And so, Hawaii led to Vegas. Vegas was the craziest time of our life. We had done so very well in crypto. It was life-changing. Jeanette would get up sometimes and go, I just can't believe this is our story. She goes, I can't believe, literally with tears in her eyes, I can't believe it's like a dream. And I say all that not to impress you, but to impress upon you. You guys are on the verge of experiencing that exact dream, if you haven't already. And so we had an opportunity to come out here to wine country so from Hawaii to Vegas. Vegas was crazy. 2021 was just nuts. We were able to venture off into land, venture off into my dream cars and all that stuff, and toys that I always wanted, and it was just nuts, man. Sometimes I'd wake up and the market was so crazy, I'd go out and buy 2 or 3 cars. It was just nuts, man. And so I was able to put money aside, take some money off the table, buy some land, all that stuff. And then we had an opportunity to get a property here in Sonoma County, which is wine country. And we came out here with the anticipation we'd be here for maybe a year or two until maybe the place had some equity in it. Well, look up, and there was already a 6-figure equity within a year. So we sold the place and we're headed back to Vegas, which is really where I want to be at, just for so many reasons. And I'll share that with you guys. Number one is, I love the fact that seems like a meetup where a lot of people like to meet up. Like we just had the Vegas moon party, and then even though they went to New York, they're talking about the next one's gonna be in Vegas. And then they have a major airport. You can go anywhere in the world. It's real convenient. It's about a 45 to an hour minute. Well, it's a 45-minute flight from my daughter in Hollywood, and maybe an hour flight from my kids in where they're located out in the Central Valley area. It's a very entertaining place. Me and my wife. We like shows, we like entertainment, we like doing those things, so it's real fun. And then a lot of our friends is like, Vegas is one of those places that you look up and see your friends flying in all the time. So we always have people coming and hang out. And it's also where I bought through crypto my 5 acres with my buddy John Singh. He bought 10 and he got 5, we got 5, and then I bought 2 acres in Utah. And so Utah is like 5 hours from Vegas. So it's just a good hub where I want to retire. And I want to buy my not only build our home, because we're going to build on the 5 acres. So you guys know we're going to build a main home, like a place where if a friend wants to go out, and it's like this beautiful oasis with all this stuff. And we're going to have other little homes where like people can go out and if they want to go, whether we Airbnb them out or if they want to go out. Because 5 acres is a lot. A lot of casinos aren't even on 5 acres, so it's a lot. And so we wanted to have a place where people could just go, like a cabin in Utah. Hey, let's get the keys, or let's go here. Just like when we were in, when we had our place in Hawaii, we were living in Hawaii and Vegas, and we would have people fly out to go stay in our place in Hawaii. So same thing. And so just living the dream, enjoying life, guys. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're at right now, guys, in life. And obviously we had the fall, and then when I decided to get in crypto, let me end it with this, because I know we come up on an hour, and I want to finish this off. My whole thing with YouTube, and the reason that I fought with it, because again, speaking took so much time away from my life. I missed a lot of things with my kids. I missed a lot of events. I missed homecoming queen, nominees or presidential award. My kids got like presidential awards for grades, and all these things I would miss. Anniversaries, birthdays. I remember my wife would buy tickets. Hey, honey, we're going to go to this concert. And I'm like, oh, can you take somebody else? They just asked me if I could go speak in Chile or Peru or Colombia or stuff like that, or, wherever, whether it was another state or another country. And so I just missed a lot. And so I wanted to dedicate my life to just being dad and being a husband to my wife, who I wanted to, for the first time since 20 years old, guys, I didn't know what it was to be, just be me. And I was telling my daughter this here not too long ago. I said, this is the first time Dad, when we left, it was just me. It was just me and Jeanette. When we left 4 years ago, it was no me, Jeanette, and our dogs. Well, first it was just me and Jeanette. When we went to Hawaii, we left our dogs, then we went back and got them in Vegas. And so I'm at a very peaceful point in my life, guys. I don't have a job. This is what I do. And when I decided to get back into to speaking or just sharing, I said, I just want this to be fun. I want to share my story. If I'm talking about brushing my teeth and drinking coffee, or just being goofy, or being fun, and being, giving educational information or experiences, just whatever I can do to pour back into people, to help people win, and to let people know I'm just like you. I'm nobody special. I'm just James. I'm just James, aka 6-8Jay. Just a guy from Brooklyn, New York, from the projects, from the hood, from welfare, from every situation in life that would have probably told or led, or a lot of people told me I wouldn't be anything, I wouldn't make it, to the story that I have now, because I believe, because I question everything. And I've always been that big brother type of guy. I'm the oldest in my family as far as kids, and I've always been that kind of guy that I give back information for free. I mean, unless they paid me for it, but that was in a different part of my life. But now it's just free. I don't make any money from this. This is just out of love, out of just the passion of being around people. If there's one thing I can sum up my life as I get ready to leave, is this: I love people. That's it. I love people, and that's the most genuine thing I can say in my life. Is I love people, and the reason I love people, because my mom taught me and molded me to love people, all different types, all different nationalities, all different movements, whether they're this, that, and everything else. I love people. And I think the combination of that and having my kids, and then having my queen Jeanette, has allowed me to love in a different way. And so with that, I say that I hope you guys don't look at me as everybody else. I definitely try to be different. I always want to be authentic. I always want to be real. I always told people, even when I was on stage, one of the things that made me very unique in life is I said, I'm from the hood, so I didn't go to Stanford, I didn't go to Yale. When I got on stage, a lot of times you see a lot of people in the crowd crying because of my authentic truth. I would talk to them from a place of talking to them, not at them. And I would always tell people, you might hear me talk a little Ebonics, you may hear me stuttering now and then, but I was very good at cashing checks. And the reason that I was very good at cashing checks and making money is because it wasn't the thing that drove me. It was the byproduct of always being genuinely me. And so I like being around people who are genuinely me. I hope this gives you guys a good idea of who I am. James, aka 6-8Jay, father of 6, husband of 1, brother to a few, son of 1, and the man upstairs, and brother to many, which is all you guys hear. I did this video not so much for the likes and the clicks, but just so that people can go back and be able to say, well, who's this guy? Where did he come from? Oh, he doesn't have 100,000 this, 100,000 that. I don't need all that. I was who I am before YouTube, and I'll be who I am through the process that thereafter. I can't wait for things to go into a different light as far as the market and explosion, because I definitely, my heart and soul is to not only do for the people around me, but to give back to so many others. And I try to show that with things that I've done with like Nigeria, Dr. Gamboy, giving back to all the stories that we shared on. Those are just small examples of the things that I want to do, and I want to share those things with you, so you say, okay, well, this guy's different, this guy wants to do some things, and I hope to do a lot of that with you guys as well. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. It means the world to me. Thank you for allowing me to share my very quick snapshot of a story. I'm sure I've left some things out. Clothing stores, I forgot to talk about that, and just many things that I've owned and things that I've done. But I think you got the gist of it, is that I'm just a guy just like you, that question everything, that always want to challenge myself, never to just settle for being average. I instill that in my children. If you have a chance of being average or excellent, why would you ever choose average? And so that's why when I look up and I see my kids doing excellent things, I can only say this is a byproduct of me, which was a byproduct of Joseph Roman, my mother. I appreciate you guys. Big Watch Dude, Anthony Wanner, Liz, thank you so much, sis. I appreciate your heart. Tony Baggs, Wayside Soldier, Big Watch Dude, Marvin Davis, OMC, Crypto Tales. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Gmail Brown, Beekeeper69, Island Ghost Stephanie. Thank you guys so much. Hans Loaded, man. Thank you for your support. You guys mean the world to me. And again, if you know who I am, when I say you mean the world to me, you mean the world to me. And I wish you guys all the best of success. I'm going to continue to try to pour and share. And, we're going to have highs together. We're going to have lows. But at the end of the day, we're all going to be victorious. Why? Because I think it's part of God's plan. We all met for a reason. I thank each and every one of you guys. My dogs are barking, probably telling me to get the hell off the internet. So with that being said, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. It's your boy James, a.k.a. Six8Jay. We'll see you guys next time. Nest Force, I see you, brother. Until next time, peace.